I said, that sportsmanship award belongs to me.
Hello guys, welcome to another video featuring none other than the fabulous and fearless Corey Feldman. I call him fearless because if you check out my other video with him coming unglued on P. Diddy, then you'll know why I call him fearless. Make sure to stay tuned until the end of this video, and I will leave a link to that other video. You have to check it out. It's a must watch. Okay, now to the matter at hand. This is Corey appearing on a recent interview with Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins. I guess he has a new podcast where he interviews people. Here you go. So during this interview, Corey makes some pretty wild claims about being up for the part of Gilbert Grape. That was starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Johnny Depp. And why didn't he get the part? Well, I guess it had something to do with Johnny Depp. He's going to explain that. He also talks about other films that he was up for and almost got, but got beat out. And there's some pretty famous flicks on this list, guys, so check it out.
Thanks, Biker Mama.
Okay, for a little context here, Billy asks Corey something about what films did you almost get or did you turn down that you kind of wish you would have taken? Here's Corey's epic answer.
What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Okay.
So I was actually cast to play Leonardo DiCaprio's role.
Okay.
I never saw the film because I'm still bitter leaf in that one.
Okay, right there. This tells you a lot about Corey's personality. He was so pissed or devastated that he didn't get the role that he couldn't even watch the film. But the big question is, why didn't he get the role? Check it out.
But yes, I was originally cast for that role.
Did they push you out or?
Johnny Depp. He was cast after I was, and apparently whispered into the producer's ear that he wasn't fond of me. And
okay, well, he whispered in the producer's ear. Then how did Corey hear it? Well, maybe he heard it, secondhand by someone else, maybe his agent, whatever. Now, the interesting part is why Corey says he didn't want to work with him. And it's kind of the pot calling the kettle black. Check it out.
Was there a reason he wasn't fond of you?
yeah, he said I was a junkie and that he didn't work with junkies. And this is the first time I remember ever telling this story, so I'm sure I'm going to get hung by this one. But
don't worry, Corey. No one's going to be talking about this. Yeah, right.
Yeah, anyway.
Were you using drugs or?
No, I was sober.
Now, on a scale of 1 to convincing, I give that about a 0. 0 being unconvincing.
I'd just gotten sober. I'd just gotten out of rehab. I'd turned my life around. And in fact, was trying to help River.
Okay, now the river that Corey is speaking about is River Phoenix. I'm sure that most of you will remember that Corey starred in Stand By Me with River, a very famous movie. Now, River Phoenix died of a drug overdose in 1993. It was actually the early mornings of Halloween. And he was found outside of the Viper Room, which is Johnny Depp's establishment at the time. It was a famous bar down in Hollywood. Now, the autopsy found that Phoenix had lethal levels of cocaine and morphine in his blood at the time of his death. He also had Valium, marijuana, ephedrine. So he had a plethora of drugs in his system when he died.
And in fact, was trying to help River at the time.
Right.
Who he was running with at the time.
Right.
As we all know, River's last night on Earth was at Johnny's establishment.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you can imagine, there was a bit of a thorn in the side on that one.
Sure.
And had I not been pushed out and done that role, who knows what would have happened from that point forward.
Because that was kind of one of those watershed movies, right?
That gave Leonardo his first nomination.
Yeah.
Yes.
The nominees for actor in a supporting role are Leonardo DiCaprio in What's Eating Gilbert Grape. And the Oscar goes to Tommy Lee Jones.
So,
welcome to the Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda podcast.
Exactly, right? So, I mean, there was a bitter tea there. But that said, you don't hang on those. You get past them.
And by getting past them, I guess Corey means never watching the film, just wiping it from your memory. Okay, so that was not the only film. As if Gilbert Grape wasn't enough, there was another role that Corey almost landed.
And then, ironically, just a couple years later, I also was up for Titanic. So there was kind of a double banger with Leo.
I'm the king of the world!
But that was okay, because that one I wasn't as close. Like, I was up for it. I read for it. I know that I was in the contention somewhere.
And that's not all, folks. Here's another swing and a miss.
Another one was Lord of the Rings. I was actually up for Sean's role.
It's all wrong. By rights, we shouldn't even be here.
And I heard I got pretty close on that as well. And then
That would have been a perfect movie for you.
It would have, although I couldn't have gained the weight. So I'll give him that. He did a great job aesthetically being able to add that weight. It's something I cannot physically do.
Get in my belly!
Even if I stuffed myself with donuts and, you know, ice cream and all the crap you want.
This is my dream.
Sorry,
I wish I could eat whatever I want.
I can teach you.
Everything you do is fake and cringe, fake and cringe.
Okay, guys, well, if missing out on those ginormous movies wasn't enough, Corey also could have had a #1 hit, according to none other than Michael Jackson. Check it out.
I'm coming from the 80s where Michael Jackson tells me my song, What's Up With the Youth, is going to be a #1 hit. I played it for him in the car. You know, he said, this song is incredible, Corey. This is a #1 song. If I walk this into Tommy Mottola right now at CBS Records, I can get you a #1 song.
What's this song about?
It's about what's up with the youth in America today, gang violence, drugs, and that kind of thing, trying to make the world a better place.
Hey, I can relate to that for sure.
And I said, thank you anyway.
How old were you at that?
18.
Okay. That's pretty Eddie.
Yeah. And I was like, thank you, but no. Because #1, I'm your friend. And I don't want you to think I'm just another guy trying to get some out of you.
Which would have been everybody in the world at that point.
Exactly. And #2, if I do it that way, then you're the Michael Jackson protege. I'll be a one-hit wonder. Everybody will compare me to you for the rest of my life. And then what?
Becoming a no-hit wonder, maybe? What, too easy? Sorry, guys.
You know, where do you go from there as an artist? You're done.
Yeah.
So I thought, if I'm going to do this, I've got to do it myself. It's got to be legitimate, and I've got to earn my stripes. And if that means playing holes for the next 20 years, then so be it. I'll play the holes for the next 20 years, which brings us up to where we were. And by the way, Howard Stern just, you know, smashed it like a pumpkin with everything by bringing me on his show with that song that Michael guessed would become #1 and making a joke out of it.
Okay,
making a fraud out of it.
Why did that happen, sorry?
Because he said, hey, I want you to come on my new show. And I said, well, I'm trying to push this new single. You know, is it like, what's the format? I'd never seen the show. I just assumed he's like any other radio host. Now, I did his radio show prior to that where everybody had warned me, you know, Howard Stern, he's really mean, he's really cruel, he'll do really awful things. And I was like, oh God, I was terrified. But Sam kept saying, you got to do it. I was very good friends with Sam Kinison. He'd say, you got to do it, you got to do it, you got to do it. Okay, fine. So I did it when he died. So the day that Sam died was the first time I did Howard. And Howard was very sweet. He was very welcoming. He was very warm. We had an immediate bond.
Yeah.
And so I did the show 2 or 3 times in succession. And he said, come out to New York. Come do the TV show too. It'll be great. So I'm going with the idea that he's been really sweet. He's been great. I came in through Sam, so he knows not to mess with me. Everything will be fine. And I get there, and they said, we're going to do a skit. It's called Club Howie, and you're going to perform, but we're going to act like it's Club MTV. But, you know, I'm dressed as Right Said Fred, and so it'll be kind of funny, but it'll be like you performing, and the performance won't be funny. It'll just be you performing.
Sure.
Okay, I can go with that. So I do it, and I walk out on stage, and there's a midget in a hula skirt. And there's guys passing blow-up dolls in front of me and acting like they're mentally impaired, and like... I'm going, what is this? What is this? This mockery. So they took my music and they made it a form of mockery. And that was the initial launch. I mean, the only thing that I had televised prior to that was an amazing reception when I performed as the first performance at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards.
Okay, guys, thanks for sticking around. As promised, here's this video that you need to see. Corey Feldman appearing on the Sally Jesse Raphael show in 1992. He appears along with his sister and the guy from Blade Runner. You got to check it out. And the other video you see is rather recent. It's Corey giving his thoughts on P. Diddy. And yeah, you just got to watch it, guys. Okay, let's go.